Alright guys, so we got a new Inside Infinite update a couple hours ago. And I gotta say, I slowly lose more and more hope for this game. Any amount of hope that I have, that is. So, in the update, they talked about the Battle Pass, the challenge system, the XP system a little bit. And that's mainly what I want to discuss in this video. But first, let me ask, why in the fuck did they spend so much time talking about bots in that Inside Infinite update? So much of that was about bots. They were re-explaining to me what the Recruit, Spartan, ODST bots were like. We already covered that. They spent so much time on bots. They spent a lot of time talking about the last tech preview. What about the next tech preview? We didn't even get a date for that. And I find it weird because in this update, they said they're gonna spend time talking about Arena in Halo Infinite and they'll save BTB for later. But like, BTB is supposed to be the next tech preview for Halo Infinite, so I don't know why. I mean, how much later are we talking here? So that right there was just really annoying. The amount of time we spent talking about bots. Dude, it's bots. I get it. Bots are in many other games. They're cool, whatever. I don't need to know all the little inner workings of the bots in Halo Infinite, okay? They're fucking bots. And also, why do they keep using the same goddamn screenshots in these blogs? And if they're not exactly the same, they're very similar. Can we get some brand new screenshots on different multiplayer maps, maybe, of different Spartans? It seems like they keep reusing the same fucking ones that we've seen a million times. Hey, the game comes out in December. You're allowed to show us the game. You're allowed to market the game when it comes out in a few months. But anyways, let's talk about the Battle Pass in Halo Infinite. So, some of you might remember from a few videos back, I said the top 3 things that I'm hoping for Halo Infinite, and this was me keeping realistic expectations. I was hoping for less abilities than we saw in Halo 5. That does seem to be the case. Good maps. So far, all the maps that I've played I thought were pretty average. And the last thing I wanted was a good ranking system. And when I said ranking system, I meant like a good skill ranking system and like the XP progression system. But in Halo Infinite, we're not getting a traditional progression system. At least that's how it seems from what they've said in the blog and what Unyshek said on Twitter. Apparently, the progression system, if you even want to call it that, is the Battle Pass. It's just progressing through the Battle Pass, which, mind you, they clarified in this blog that there's not actually a free reward for every single tier. That's not a big deal to me, but that does mean there are going to be times where you progress to the next tier in the Battle Pass and you just don't get anything. And the only way to progress through the Battle Pass is through challenges. So it doesn't sound like you play matches and just earn XP from how well you perform and winning matches and things like that. No, it's just the challenges. Just challenge, I guess daily, weekly, maybe monthly and seasonal type challenges. First off, I wonder how many challenges will there really be? Are we going to run out of challenges? And also, and I'd imagine this is true, are there going to be like weapon or vehicle specific challenges? Like, I don't want to have to use a certain vehicle or a certain weapon. I just like to play the game how I want to play the game. That's it. But I'm thinking there are going to be some challenges that are like, get this many kills with a pulse carbine. And if I want to complete that challenge and get the XP for that challenge to progress through the Battle Pass, I have to use the pulse carbine. Dude, this is a terrible system. I cannot believe we're not going to have like a traditional XP or credits like progressional ranking system. Why is it that ever since Halo 3, the progression system or the XP system, whatever you want to call it, is just progressively getting worse? Halo 3 had my favorite XP system. You play a match and you win, you get 1 XP. If you lose, you get nothing. If you quit, you lose 1 XP. That was my favorite system for XP. In Halo, or honestly any game really. And then you had Halo Reach. and they had this credit system. Not nearly as satisfying as earning XP in Halo 3, in my opinion, but you had credits. You could spend those credits on armor and other customization items, and some of the rank icons were the military ranks, and once you got into the higher ranks, you got some more unique icons for your rank, like the Inheritor and the Nova, the mythic rank. You got like a moon and stuff like that, so that was pretty cool. And then with Halo 4 and Halo 5, it was just the boring-ass SR ranks. And now with Halo 5, we don't even get that. Now the progression is just the fucking battle pass. Oh! Hold on. I gotta calm down. It's just gonna be like that at launch. Oh, I have a feeling we're gonna keep on hearing that. Not here at launch, not at launch, not at launch, post-launch. This is why people hate the live service model. This right the fuck here. I've been pretty optimistic. I said, you know what? Live service model, if Halo Infinite has everything it should have at launch, and they just add content to the game over time, then I don't really have a problem with the live service model. But this is why people worry about it, because it gives them an excuse to release a game that's not finished, without features that should have been there at launch. And that's what we're seeing, man. That's what we're seeing. The no co-op, the no Forge at launch, I understand, but 6 months is a long time. Now, no traditional progression system, and like they said at launch. So like, that tells me that they wanted a system in the game, a progression system where you earn XP every match, but I guess they just don't have it ready in time. MCC has a progression system. We get a progression system in that, but we're not going to have it in Halo Infinite. Hey, MCC has a custom game browser now. Probably not going to get that in Halo Infinite. And I mean, it probably doesn't matter because we're not even going to have Forge at launch, so you're most likely not going to have those fun custom games unless 343 puts their own fun game modes and maps in the game that they created in Forge. And I'm not the only one who doesn't like this. It seems like most people are concerned with this system. And is there going to be a cap on how many challenges or XP you can earn each day? Is that going to be a thing? And now this just begs the question. Is the actual skill ranking system for the ranked playlist, is that going to be there at launch? There's a chance it's not. It's possible. I wouldn't put it past them. I think there's a solid chance that the skill ranking system is not in Halo Infinite at launch. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't, I don't know, but I do think it is a good possibility that it's not. Like, you just cannot defend this game anymore. You cannot say that everything's fine. That none of this is 343's fault. You're lying to yourself. And you know you're lying to yourself if you're continuing to defend them. Listen, I played that tech preview a couple weeks ago, and I enjoyed what I played. I had fun. I was having fun. And I was being pretty positive about the game at that time. And, rightfully so. I played the tech preview. I enjoyed it. So I said good things, positive things. That makes sense, right? But now we just get all this other news. No co-op at launch. Now this. No XP progression system at launch. But why can they not follow this up with good news? Why don't they follow it up with good news? Hey, we're not going to have this at launch, but we got this for you. They never fucking do it, man. They just don't do that. And you know what? Maybe the reason they're doing this is because they want people to buy the Battle Pass. That is actually a really good possibility, because one of the developers in this blog, they clarified, they made a mistake in the past. In the past, they said every tier for the Battle Pass in Halo Infinite, there will be a free reward. They said that. And then in this blog, they corrected themselves and said, oh, I made a mistake. Actually, there's not a free reward for every tier. So I'm wondering if there was actually, they were planning on doing free rewards and a paid reward for each tier, but somebody on the team made them change that so that it incentivizes people to buy the Battle Pass so they can earn a reward for every tier. And maybe that's the whole reason they don't have like a traditional XP system in at launch. Maybe it is ready, but they just want people to buy that Battle Pass. Maybe that's what it is. And if that's true, I mean, that's very fucking scummy. Yes, I understand companies, developers, they're going to do that, but it's fucking scummy. But either way, it's a lose-lose. I mean, if this is a way to push people into buying the Battle Pass, well, that's going to be frowned upon. And if it's something like you don't have the progression system finished for launch, well, then that's just incompetence. And who knows what's next, guys? What is next? What's next? The actual ranking system isn't going to be there at launch. What other features are we going to be missing? What game modes are we going to be missing? I don't know, man. Like this is just, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words at this point. No co-op. And then we don't have a ranking system. Like a XP ranking system, like you'd see in Call of Duty. You play a game, you get XP, and you rank up. No, it's just the battle pass, and it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing, but at the same time, it's not mind blowing. So let's just run down this list real quick before I end the video. So, no dual wielding in Halo Infinite at launch. And I can understand them not having dual wielding, even though I think that would be cool. No playable elites in Halo Infinite at launch. I definitely think they should have playable elites. People love playable elites. My favorite implementation of them was in Halo Reach, where you could only use them in certain game modes. Halo 2 had playable elites back in 2004. Halo 3 had them in 2007. Bungie had them in 2010 for Halo Reach. And 343 just can't figure it out. Oh, no, maybe they can figure it out, but they're not doing playable elites because this is a Spartan story. It's a Spartan story, they said. Yeah, this is a Spartan story. Every other fucking Halo game was a goddamn Spartan story, okay? Halo 2 was a Spartan and an elite story, okay? They were all Spartan stories, and those games had playable elites. So, they just made that shit up. That's one of the worst excuses I've ever heard. Also, we don't have assassinations at launch. Not a big deal to me, but a weird thing not to have at launch, and I do want them in the game. If I had to choose, if they're in or out, I'd want them in, and I'd want the ability to turn them off. I personally never turn them off, but I wouldn't do the assassination animation most of the time. But sometimes I wanted to utilize the animation, and I did that. So they are cool. I wish they were in the game, but they're not at launch. Weird thing not to be there at launch. No co-op at launch. That's completely inexcusable. We're paying $60 for a campaign without co-op. Real cute. No Forge at launch. That's understandable if the Forge is improved over Halo 5's. If the Forge is incredible, then I get it not being there at launch. But 6 months is a long time without any fun customs, or without even... we won't even be able to do the most basic of things in Forge because it won't be in the game. Like, I won't be able to go into a map and just drop some weapons down on the ground, or drop some nades and vehicles and stuff. I won't be able to do that, I guess, because there's not going to be any Forge in the game at launch. So that's just going to be really weird, not being able to do the most basic of things with Forge, because the Forge might be so incredible in Infinite that it's taken them longer, and we got to wait 6 months. And that's a minimum. It could even take longer. And now we hear that there's not going to be an XP progression system in the game at launch. And the system that they are using, the Battle Pass system, where you just progress by completing challenges, and there's not even a free reward for every tier. I think that's a terrible system. And I don't know. Stay tuned for what's next, guys. God, dude. I don't know. There's 3 things that I wanted for this game: less abilities, good maps, and a good ranking system. Hey, we got the less abilities, but those maps that we played during the tech preview I thought were average as could be. And now we're hearing that there's no progression system in the game, a traditional progression system at launch. So I don't know. I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy this game. And I was just saying to some buddies a little while ago that every time we get a new Halo Infinite update, it becomes more of a reality, me staying on MCC after Halo Infinite launches. I really don't want that to be the case. I'm over MCC at this point, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know what kind of game Infinite's going to be, but there's definitely some things that we're seeing that are worrisome. And you just can't deny that. People will deny that, people will shill for 343, and I don't just say that, right? Like, I'm not just saying, oh, you're shilling for 343. It's like, you actually are. Like, some of you actually are. It's not just like an insult that I just throw around. You're a 343 apologist. You're a 343 shill. I'm not just throwing that around every time you defend them, but like, some of you really do fit that description. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Stay tuned to find out what is not going to be there at launch for Halo Infinite next. Yeah, see you guys.